What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Julio.datrucker back here with another video. It's official. I have been with ATS for 1 month. So this is my honest review about my experience and what it's been like as a company driver in the flatbed specialized division here in ATS. In this video, I'll be talking about the pay, home time, equipment, breakdown, the class system, Litix, my dispatcher, and whether ATS is actually worth it. So let's get right into the pay. When you first come here for orientation, you should expect $1,000 for your first week here at ATS. You get that as soon as you finish orientation. If you have enough time to pick up a load at the orientation and deliver it the following Monday, that load will also go on to your first week's check with the orientation pay. So I'll pop it up on the screen. You can see an example. For the first 12 weeks, you'll make $1,400 minimum. So now you can make more than $1,400 a week, but you can't make less. So for my first month, I think I averaged about $1,500 a week. My second month, I averaged about $1,900 a week. They do pay layover and breakdown, which is $150 at their 24 hours. They got over-dimensional pay, tarpon pay. I think tarpon pay is about $80. Here at ATS, they pay you cent per mile, or they pay you percentage. So when you get your load information, you'll see the full breakdown, and whichever one is higher, either the cent per mile or the percentage, that's what they'll end up paying you. Some loads you might see $1.30 a mile for the percentage, or some loads you might see 60 cents. So, but I haven't had any problems getting reimbursed for anything that I bought out here on the road that was for, you know, equipment or parking. So equipment. So as far as the trucks go, they have Peterbilts, Volvos, and Freightliners here. Those are the main trucks they have. When you're in orientation, they let you choose your first two options. Nothing's guaranteed, but they will go based off of that a little bit. So for my first option, I picked the Peterbilt. They gave my second 2024 Freightliner with 200,000 miles on it. Trailers, they got all types of trailers: standard flatbed, step deck, RGNs, heavy haul trailers, and their trailers are being used. When you get your truck, you're gonna have an inverter. I think the inverter is about 1900 watts. You'll have an APU, and you'll have a bunk heater. As far as TV and the fridge, I think you can request it. They asked me if I needed a fridge in here. I told them I already had one. So they do give you seat covers. At least I had seat covers when I got in my truck. I don't know if they give it to everybody, but my truck came with seat covers. Home time. Keep in mind, this is an OTR company, so if you're the type of driver that wants to go home every weekend or every day or every 2 weeks, it's probably not the best fit for you. I think the minimum here is 2 weeks on the road, and then you get a day a week or a day and a half a week. Me, I try to stay out for about 4 weeks at a time, then go home for 5 days or something like that. You know, it all depends, but they're really good about getting you home. I just let my DM know. I've been home twice on home time, so no complaints in that department. Breakdown. So as far as breakdown, at every terminal they have a safety lane. If you don't know what a safety lane is, pretty much you'll pull into the terminal and they'll do a walk around on your truck and trailer. They'll check the tires, brakes, lights, all your fluids, make sure everything's good. If you need anything, you can just ride it up and get it serviced. As far as being on the road, they got road service. You can just call the number and they'll take care of you. I think I only had one time I had to get service on the road. It was my electrical cord. It was loose and wasn't working properly, so I called road service on a Sunday evening. He told me, give me a second and he'll ride it up. An hour later, the shop called me in, got it fixed. 30 minutes later, I was back on the road. So the only thing I had wrong with the truck when I picked it up was the AC. The AC wasn't working, but they ended up taking care of that. Now the AC working too good. Freight. Let's talk about the freight. They don't call it specialized for no reason. They don't call it ATS specialized for no reason. One of the leading companies in flatbeds, so they got a huge reputation. They like to keep up with it, so we pretty much haul anything here. Like, I'll put a little montage up of all the different loads I had since I've been here. I mean, when I first came out of orientation, all the loads I was getting was just different. Loads I already done flatbed for 4 years, and the loads I was picking up every week was loads I've never hauled before in my career. So Litix. So if you don't know what Litix is the camera that sits on the windshield. It faces outward and it faces inward. Now, ATS doesn't use the inward side. They give you a sticker to put on to cover it. Pretty much all Litix does is it gives you a score based off your driving. The lower your Litix score, the better you're driving. The higher the Litix score, the worse you're driving according to Litix standards. So I know at first it was a little overwhelming thinking about when I first came here. I thought it was gonna be a big issue, but to be honest, it's not that bad in my case. It takes a little minute to adjust and get used to, because what Litix is really trying to do is just fix something that has never been a problem with your driving. So I mean, once you figure out how it works and understand it, and them little small nicks and knacks that you need to work on, it's really not a problem. I think once you hit about 50 points, that's when they start taking disciplinary action. I know once I first started driving, my first weekend, I gained like 12 points in 2 days. I was getting like 5 points a day. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be crazy. But once safety department got in on Monday, they started looking at all the footage. That's another thing. Litix will score you and they'll pop up a video, and then safety department has to look over the video, and it's up to them to make the deciding factor if you actually deserve the points or not. So a lot of the time I'll give points, safety will go in there, look at the video and be like, oh, he doesn't need points for this. So, and 3 main things they look for is following distance. That's what a lot of drivers have a hard time with at first. Coming to a complete stop at stop signs, and distracted driving, being on your phone, eating, or anything like that. So I think those are the 3 main things, with following distance being the number 1 thing. Dispatch, my dispatcher, man, shout out to Casey. He's a really good guy. I mean, he keeps me running. The more money I make, the more money he makes. So it's that kind of situation. Not too much to say. I mean, 90% of our communication is through text. That's the way I like to do it. You know, the only time we ever had to call each other when it's time sensitive. So I mean, I'm pretty sure that makes his job easier and it makes my job easier. I'm pretty good at handling stuff on my own. So the class system. So I really love the class system they have here. How they gradually level you up to wider, taller, heavier stuff, so you can get that experience. They're starting drivers off now as a class 0. That's just all standard freight. Everything's legal. You don't do any overdimensional when you're in class 0. They'll start you off with that, and then once they're ready to level you up to class 4, then they sent me over to St. Cloud, and it was me and another driver. We went through class, just like a refresher of a lot of stuff we learned in orientation as far as securement. They showed us how to put our banners up and our flags, and you know, went over expectations and how to follow the rules when it comes to overdimensional, and what to look for and what to do and what not to do. After that, lady from the permit department come over and pretty much go over permits and show us what we needed to look for when we're on a permanent load. So after that, they sent us to take the test, and we both passed. We both got our certificate. We both leveled up to level 4. So now, as I'm making this video, I'm in level 4, class 4, level 4. The lower you go in the level, you want to level down here so you can get into the bigger freight. So I start off as a class 0. Now I'm in class 4, and then class 3, 2, 1A. So I've been here 2 months now, and I haven't technically picked up an overdimensional load. They dispatched me on one load. It was supposed to be 9 foot 7 inches wide. That was gonna be my first over-dimensional load, but when I got there, I guess somebody made a mistake of being nowhere near that. It was 6 feet 8 inches wide, so my dispatcher ended up just letting me run it legal. Trip planning. So as far as trip planning goes, it's all on the driver. ATS gives you a lot of freedom. They give you a gas card, EFS card, and you can pretty much fill up anywhere you want that accepts EFS. They don't hound you about it. It's no problem. If you want to take a different route, you can, as long as it doesn't add too many miles to the load. I forget there's a threshold to where you're supposed to ask your DM, hey, can I take this route? But for me, I've been filling up anywhere I wanted to, anywhere I want, and pretty much taking any route that I want. You know, I try not to add more than 50 miles on the load. I think the most I probably done added to a load was about 20-30 miles, just going through a route that was less mountainous and easier for me, and I still get there on time. So my dispatcher hasn't called me with any issues or any problems. So benefits. As far as benefits goes, I'm not gonna sit up here and tell you a bunch of lies. I didn't really look into the benefits. I do know they have a full benefits package, but I didn't really do that much research. I know I got the basics, health insurance and dental. I think mine was about $25 a week for health insurance, $7 a week for dental. I'm young, I'm pretty healthy, and I try to stay away from the doctors, so I didn't really do too much research into it. So if you want more information about the benefits, you can just contact your recruiter and just ask him. I'm pretty sure he'll answer all your questions and tell you exactly what you need to know. So some of the cons here, I really only have two issues, which is the curtains on the front windshield. They don't provide those, so I had to buy, you can refer to the beginning of the video, I had to buy a curtain myself off of Walmart or Amazon. I can't remember where I got it from, but I had to buy that myself and put it up there. They only give out curtains in the middle. I think they should do it the opposite way. Just give it out in the front windshield and not in the middle. That's just my opinion. Another thing I don't agree with is the pet policy. So as far as the pet policy goes, they charge you a $200 deposit, and then they charge you $25 a week. So I do think that's a bit excessive for times like this when I don't have my pet with me, because my pet is at the house and I got to pay somebody to watch my dog while it's at the house. So the payroll did say I can call back and start it and stop it whenever. I haven't tested that theory out yet. I will soon. Quick little recap. I mean, is ATS worth it or not? I mean, that's up for you to decide. This is my experience, and I love it here. I wish I would have came here after I got my 6 months experience. And that's another thing. The only requirements to work here is 6 months of experience. It doesn't have to be flatbed. It could be drive-in, flatbed, or anything. As long as you have 6 months tractor-trailer experience, you can come here and a good driving record. So, yeah, I wish I would have came here a long time ago. You know, I'll probably be in the big boy leagues right now, but I'm here now, and I don't think I'm going anywhere. Hopefully this helps some of y'all out. If you're still thinking about coming to ATS, make sure you check out my full orientation video. I'll leave a link down in the description. I'm still learning as I go, so y'all gonna see the real experience on this channel. Thanks for all the support. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. But without further ado, more trucking videos coming soon.